Hey all, this is Raj here. Friends, I hope you would indulge me. I have a meaningless video on CRISPR Therapeutics and Bluebird, but I thought that I could share that with the community out here, and many of you have given me your feedback on what you think is the status with Bluebird as well as CRISPR, so I really thank you for all that. It has really helped me to get a much wider perspective on the situation. So first off, I want to say that, one of the things that really bothered me was the Bluebird aspect of this whole thing, because Bluebird got approved at the same time. It was like a non-event because it didn't even register. The whole focus was on Vertex and CRISPR Therapeutics. So from the point of view of CRISPR Therapeutics shares, honestly, I'm not really worried, because even after the drop in the share price, my shares are profitable. And I have the covered call with a strike price of $80 in January. And one of our subscribers said that he firmly believes that it might get exercised. So if I get an opportunity to kind of settle my covered call, I would like to buy and close. I'll try to do that next week so that I can keep my shares clear and not risk losing it. So that's my plan for CRISPR. So that's very clear. The place where I have the biggest disappointment, and also that I have been all along telling that Bluebird will be a superior therapy based on all that I had read. And I thought that actually CRISPR's approach would probably involve the cancer risk. It was totally opposite. So that's what I am really concerned about, my ability to do research, because from all the things that I read and gathered, that's what I thought it was. And I was hoping that Bluebird will come with a more superior therapy, and therefore Bluebird will redeem itself, and we'll have a rags to riches story with Bluebird. Uh, and they may even get the priority review voucher. But one of our subscribers said that they're not getting the priority review vouchers now, which means you're kissing goodbye to the $130 million, which it had committed for. So then Bluebird is going to be in a lot of trouble if this information is true. And the fact that Bluebird's therapy got the black box notification from FDA for cancer, that again kind of puts the stake in the heart of my entire thesis. However, I'm happy that I was not too wrong about CRISPR Therapeutics. The only place where I think I'm still waiting to be proved right is the share price. I was hoping that by Monday we would touch $80, but we have had a negative reaction. Now, I personally think that there are a lot of people who are actually traders just trying to make profit, who really don't care about CRISPR Therapeutics or CRISPR as a technology, or sickle cell disease as a cure. They are just plain mercenaries who are coming to make money. I suspect those are the kind of people who came in, made a quick swoop. They knew that there was an event coming up. They bought before the event and sold it just before the approval, and took the money and ran away. That's the way I would like to believe it is, which would mean that probably on Monday we'll start seeing improvement in the share price, because personally I think CRISPR Therapeutics is much better off now. They have got 200 million, which is the milestone payment that Vertex has to give them. So that is one of the increase in the value, intrinsic value of the company. Earlier they had 1.79 billion, and with this 200 million, they go all the way to 1.9 billion of cash, or maybe close to 2 billion of cash. So that's one very strong point. Other thing is that they get 40% of the profits from the sale of Exacel. So that's again another revenue stream that comes in, so that going forward, CRISPR Therapeutics can be evaluated based on price to sales rather than, based on their income, P by E, rather than price to sales, which we are doing right now. And it will be more accurate valuation. And I think that they have the CTX, two CTX therapies, CAR T therapies for cancer. Those are wholly owned therapies. Again, that's a really good lucrative area to be in. And their type 1 and type 2 diabetes therapies, VCTX 210 and 211, are likely to be a blockbuster as well. So I'm thinking that CRISPR Therapeutics is really on solid ground. But now if you look at the negatives, right, there is this IP issue. So if if we go by the article from Broad Institute, the author from Broad Institute, the article I spoke to you the other day, I showed you the article from MIT magazine. According to him, he thinks that editors may demand that Broad Institute enforce the agreement that they had, that the target of sickle cell disease was given to editors, and if CRISPR has used CRISPR-Cas9 to solve the sickle cell disease issue and given the therapy to patients for money, that means the agreement is infringed. So if that is the case, and if that's how it's going to go, then there is likely to be litigation. But then again, I'm thinking that better senses will prevail, because CVC as well as Broad Institute are both academic institutions. And Broad Institute has right from the beginning said that compromise is a better way to proceed. Instead of giving all the money to the lawyers and costing the patients and taking the money away from the researchers who actually did the hard work to bring this technology. I think they rather compromise and share the future licensing revenue and grandfather the existing licenses where they are, so that there is no dispute going forward. If something like that is done, then I think that it will be the best possible outcome for everybody. So I'm not too much worried about the CRISPR IP issue, because I think it's going to end in a compromise. All mature people on all sides know that sharing a revenue like this is much better than fighting over it and losing a lot of precious time while patents run out. So yeah, so that's what I am thinking. And one of our subscribers commented that this is not how patents work, and he gave the example of some heart operation or sutures, like I have patented sutures, so you cannot use it. So what I would like to clarify here is the way I understand the agreement between Broad Institute and Editas and other companies to whom it has given CRISPR-Cas9 patent. It has given a very specific patent to Editas. For example, Editas is only supposed to do sickle cell disease with CRISPR-Cas9, and they have identified the gene on which CRISPR-Cas9 would be used, and they have a plan from Editas on how long it is going to take Editas to complete the clinical trials and get it monetized. And they have reviewed the plan, and after that they signed the agreement. And part of that agreement is also that if Editas did not complete it in time, they have given the plans. If by the time they don't do it, then Broad Institute can give that same license to somebody else who can do it. So the idea from Broad Institute was that we don't want to lock up everybody. At the same time, if a company was to invest a lot of money in developing sickle cell disease therapy or a therapy for some other indication, then they should have the confidence that they are the only ones who are doing it, so that they can pour in the money. And if they succeed, they know that somebody else is not going to benefit from it, but they will. And that's what Broad Institute tried to do by creating exclusive targets for each licensee. And part of that guarantee is that nobody else is going to use CRISPR-Cas9 on the same genes for the same indication. So that is how this clash is being visualized between CRISPR Vertex and their Casgevy and what Editas is doing for sickle cell disease. So that's how I understand it, my friends. So if you have the opportunity, you can check up the Broad Institute agreements, how their vision of how to license CRISPR-Cas9, and you will find exactly what I have described. So we'll wait and watch, but I don't expect this to become like fireworks or something and take a lot of time, because even governments are keen to make sure that these kind of therapies do not end up being a monopolistic fight, and that it's helpful for mankind as a whole. And that can happen only in case of compromise with the IP. So that's my 2 cents. So friends, as I always say, I'm just a retail investor like you with a YouTube channel. I'm truly humbled by the turn of events that had happened. I was gaining a little more confidence in my ability to do technical analysis and to predict how things would go. But I stand corrected. The market can do anything, anything can happen. I think instead of predicting stuff, I think we should start looking at how to respond and react to things that happen. That's the lesson I have learned from this humbling situation that I find myself in. It's really shame that Bluebird went the way it did. But I have very less Bluebird. I have just got 600 shares of Bluebird, and it's at slight profit even after this drop. So most probably on Monday, I'm going to sell off Bluebird and just take away my money and keep it handy. And I'm going to retain CRISPR for the long term. That is my plan, and I will try to close the covered call if I get an opportunity. With that, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.